let's flip a coin. Head Carolina, tails California, somewhere greener, somewhere warmer.
Okay, this is Andy Graham of hoboontheroad.com. I'm in Sofia, Bulgaria. I've traveled 16 plus years and non-stop and went to 99 countries now. But it's always debatable on the number of countries you count, because they're not always obvious they're a country. They're calling Puerto Rico a country. Is Puerto Rico a country? Kaylin asked, yes, you are right. Oh. Yes, you are right. All these southeastern European countries that you have been visiting look like they suck. Why return for a month to any one of them? I said I wouldn't. I made a comment that I wasn't going to return to any of the countries I visited so far for a month. You say you are looking for expats that hang out all day doing nothing, and this sounds good to me. But in Vilcabamba you complained about how so many expats were conspiracy theorists, vegans, and the San Pedro cactus users. Maybe I do not understand. Please clarify. Best wishes, Kaylin. Okay, what I did is I went to Vilcabamba, Ecuador before I was here, and I spent 3 months kind of writing a guidebook and stuff. And I really would say I probably didn't like the place, but I mean it was comfortable. The quality of the room was good and the climate was perfect, but the expats there were really thing. But then I came here and I went to 6 or 7 countries, and then Wolf asked me which countries I would return for a month, and I said none, 0. But the reason is because you know, there's actually some extremely good people in these places, but they only here for 2 or 3 days, so it's really hard to say hang out, because every 2 days you got new friends. So, and I was sitting in Kosovo with these 2 American guys that actually made me feel stupid on a global level. Okay, and I was like going, whoa, their knowledge thing. The problem with the expats change from place to place, and you can't just say that they're all the same. It's really like a different neighborhood, like going from the bad neighborhood to the good neighborhood. And if you go to Thailand, there's a certain type of person that retires there. And in Philippines, there's a person that hangs out there. If you go to Africa, there's a certain type of person that hangs out there. But the worst to me is probably the American one country person. This is the person that basically thinks the United States is the center of the planet. They've only gone to 2 countries in their life. One was Mexico and the other one is probably Ecuador, and they're going over there to retire because they read something on the internet, and somehow that knowledge from reading is experience, and knowledge from reading is a really bad way to make a decision. And the Vilcabamba people were basically a bunch of expats that really hadn't traveled very much, but thought they knew everything about the world, because suddenly they left the world. They're living outside the United States, therefore they know the world. Okay, which is only one country, right? And even though here the problem is I haven't met any place where it's paradise is a cheap place, okay, and a place that you can afford to not worry about the money. And I'm living in a dorm here while I was living in a room there, so it was much easier to just carry on my life without friendship in a way there. I had a lot of friends there, but I would say most of them were crazy as fuck. Okay, they were nuts on them. Boo! Okay, and the ones here are very just young students and are really happy, and I actually fit in quite good. But the bad part is they leave every couple of days, and then it would be really hard. Now, I do know that coming back to Europe, it would be fun to come back to 2 or 3 weeks. Like the Hans Hostel in Kosovo was really fun, and the place I met the most, Hostel here in Sofia, Bulgaria, is a good place to hang out for 2 or 3 months, 2 or 3 weeks. And contrary to what you think, you probably could get a room. There's private rooms in all these places too. You don't have to live in a dorm. You can actually live in a private room in a lot of these hostels, which would be really the best of both worlds. You got a lot of people to talk to, but you have a private room, so you don't have to deal with some of the snorers and the people coming home drunk all night. But hanging out and finding friends that live there is always a go. And somehow people are delusional that they think that it doesn't matter about people. People are everything. And you really need to go to 5 or 6 places before you would really understand this, Caitlin. You really need to taste the world before you make a decision. And what you're acting like is I'm making a bad decision. But I've actually taken a big bite of the planet, 99 countries. And you need to think how many countries you've taken a bite of. And then once you understand that there's different flavors, you know that you don't have to make a decision. It's just a crazy thing to make a decision and say, this place is the best. That's just anal. Okay? So, you know, but yeah, there's no inconsistency here. I'm just not saying either one's that great. Although I hung around in Vilcabamba for 3 months. So obviously it was good enough for 3 months. Am I going to go back to Vilcabamba? No. It's one-time shot. Was good. Have no desire to go back. But at the end of the day, the places you return to, just because you dream of them, is the best places. And that's why you go to, you know, the way to pick a place to retire is to go to about 6 places. Then your mind will actually dream of the place you want to go back to. It'd be very hard to break this down. This is why I offer consulting. If you pay for consulting, I can sit there and talk about what you like to do, not what I like to do, what you like to do, and I can help you to take it down from a list of 10 to things. Can I ask things about your medical situation, how much you walk, and I'll explain that Costa Rica can be really beautiful, but it's a lot of walking, and if you can't walk, maybe it's not the right place. But and then again, there's prostitutes there, and there's things that maybe some guy wants or something. But then there's beaches, and then there's a lot of Americans, and then you're going to say Guatemala, is it dangerous? And I say no, not as dangerous as they make it, as the 1960 wars or whatever. You know, this bullshit. I can break it down with you and we can talk it over. But I don't see that there's any consistencies. It's just that I'm not going to fall in and commit to one location. Andy Graham, hobotraveler.com.